so I can.
Okay. Yag e ych sa tinil te katiuhan ach tu yag e wuch in Tlingit yukatangi stutul tu ya yudat good to see you guys. I feel happy that we're all studying Tlingit together today as well. And I'm going to share my screen and show you what we got going for class today. So here's our class. We're on day 2. We meet every Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. Alaska Standard Time. I know some folks are calling in from other time zones, but we're 10:30 a.m. Alaska Standard Time. This class is sponsored by Hatuch Lachish, KTOO, and Discovery Southeast. So yeah, giku an Neskia ka Neskadushuya Wachiyadis. Today is Wednesday, and 7 days have passed this month. I like to jump right into our review, especially since this class only meets 1 hour every week, just so that we can refresh what we've been working on and before we learn new material. And so let's take a look at it. So last week we reviewed the vowels, and let's do it again. And you guys can unmute your mics and just repeat after me after I say each vowel. So just as a reminder, vowels can be short, meaning they're just written with one letter, like you see here on the left-hand side, and they're pronounced shorter. Or they can be long, meaning they're written with 2 letters, and the duration that you're carrying that sound is a little bit longer. Other thing you can see the difference is vowels can be low tone or high tone. Tone and length are very important in vowels because they apply meaning to what you're saying. So if you accidentally do a high tone when you mean a low tone, you can accidentally be saying a completely different word from what you want to say. So let's do a review. Go ahead and unmute and repeat after me, starting with this first letter, and high tone, eh, and high tone, eh, and high tone, uh, and high tone, long and low, ah, long and high, ah, long and low, a, and high tone, a, e, and long and high, e, long and low, oo, and oo. Yeah. When I teach pronunciation, I over enunciate the tones. I find it helpful in the beginning stages of learning Tlingit because later on you can rely on your vocal memory, your audio memory, to remember how to write something. And also, if you over enunciate them a little bit to start with, then as you become more conversational, the tones come more naturally to you. So when I do teach these, I'm overdoing it just a little bit so that we can get used to the difference. Okay, so last week we practiced this phrase for asking someone their name. And the way you ask in Tlingit what someone's name is you say, "How are you called?" So looking at this first line, repeat after me. Wasa iduwasak.
Wasa
Wasa iduwasak.
iduasa.
And we'll break it down a little bit in our next slides. But yeah, let's do it one more time. Wasa iduwasak.
Wasa
Iduwasak.
iduasa.
Yeah.
Are
And
you rounding the KW?
yes, ma'am. So this KW at the end, as Carrie just asked, are you rounding it? So in Tlingit, when you see a W written, it tells you to round your lips, whether it's in the beginning of a word, middle, or end. In English, we don't really see a KW like this at the end of a word. So it takes some practice if you're new to Tlingit. The way I like to describe it is you round your lips and breathe out the K. So starting with just this S sound, repeat after me. Sak.
Sak.
Sa-
Perfect. So you guys sound really good. Sometimes what people will accidentally do is say saku because it's new to English speakers to round a consonant around a K sound like this at the end of the word. But you guys sound really good. So let's do it one more time. Saku.
Sak.
Hmm.
sa-
Yeah, good. Good question, Carrie.
Thank
Uh,
you.
yeah. And then the response after someone asks how you're called, you give them your name first, and then you say this part, repeat after me. Yuhaduasak.
Iduwasak.
Yeah. So I'll say my name, which is Nila Toga. You all can fill in this blank with your name and repeat after me. Nila Toga Yuhaduasak.
Iduwasak.
Oh,
Yeah. Your vowel tones and your length sound really good, and your rounded K here sounds really good.
you had to sa-
That's right, yeah. Your Carrie, I just heard you, and your underlined X sounded really good too.
Thank you.
Uh,
Anna,
uh-huh.
I tend to say Zechtinaya Aksai.
Okay, that's awesome. So, was there more to your comment before I
I'm
woman
just wondering how does that get translated?
Yeah, let's add it in. Um, since this is a multi-level class, like I mentioned, some days, everyone will be on the same page. And then, like, some situations, like right now, Seichtin knows another phrase. And so, to keep our intermediate learners challenged, we're going to add it in here. So, if we have alternative phrases, we would have this first option. Yuchatuasak is I am called. And then the one Seichtin mentioned is, so she put her name. And then Aya Achsai. And this means,
Yeah.
yeah, and this means name. This is my name.
So,
It felt like it was like it's more authority when I say
Yeah.
so why would you have the two examples where in one where you said I am called and then you put your name and then in the beginning and then number two you have your name and then this is my name. Are you doing the formal or and the informal?
I think it's just two different ways of being able to say your name. When people give their introductions, they can say, I could say Nila Toga Yucha Duasak or Nila Toga Aya Achsai. Joel, Tu Litzine, did you have a comment?
Uh, yeah, I just wanted to add that, like, in a former language class, that, like, if someone would call on us, we would oftentimes respond with gonna shish hat yisayi, and like basically like acknowledging their namesake, and is like a respectful way of like responding back to being called upon, I guess. Um, so just a little side note, I guess.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Because Achsai means my name, but it also means my name's sake.
Mm.
I have a
So it's like,
question.
Let me find that in the dictionary. And while I'm looking it up, go ahead and with your next question.
Well, I was just wondering if these ways of saying your name are used in different regions, or if this would be like, are these different dialects of saying your name, or
The way I would describe it, as far as my knowledge is, and I can continue to look into it, but it would be the difference in English between saying I go by Anna, or my name is Anna, or people call me Anna, or just like different ways of using the language to share your name.
Different way to identify yourself.
Yeah, just because there's going to be a lot of ways to talk to people, a lot of ways to introduce yourself. And one thing I like that Shakhsani Keek taught me is that when we're learning our self-introduction, it's our personal self-introduction. So it's how we identify. And I'll show you a text example of what I like to use for different options. But another thing that I've taken into consideration for my own is that if I like the way something sounds and flows. So I'll show you an example in the beginning Tlingit workbook. Introduction template. So if you go in the beginning Tlingit workbook, under the chapter How Are You Called, there's a section Introduction Template. And this textbook offers different varieties for phrases too. One thing I like about this is that I've heard students say before, well, I want to introduce myself at a clique or at a gathering, but I don't just want to say ayachet, ayachet, ayachet. And so if you are standing up to introduce yourself and you want to acknowledge your clan and your father's people and your opposites, there are different ways. So like, for example, these two phrases that we just looked at, again, go ahead and repeat after me. The top one, yuchatuasak. And then on the left it says pick one. And so we could also pick this bottom one as an alternative. So repeat after me. Aya akhsai. Yeah.
Sai.
Yeah.
Can you say
And
sai part again?
yeah, so for sai, it's a long, low A. So this sound, repeat after me. Ah. Yeah. And then starting with S, sa. And then we have this Y and a short high I, which will sound like yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So repeat this word after me. Sa ye.
Sai.
Yeah.
Sai.
And then starting with sa ye.
Sai. Sai.
And then the whole thing. Aya sa ye. Yeah. I can hear most of your tones and your vowels changing, which is good. So you have high for aya, and then low low sa, and high ye. So one more time. Aya sa ye.
Sai.
Rene uses this one in his introduction, and the first time I recognized it in speech when he was speaking, I was like, oh, I like the sound of that. I'm going to copy it. And so that's why I started using it. And you can use it, as Tulitzin mentioned, Akhsai also means my namesake. So culturally, if you want to say the person whose name you're carrying, then this is a nice alternative for that.
Mm.
Yeah. Good question. Are there any more?
Sheesh.
Ah. So yeah, what I like about this self-introduction template from the beginning Tlingit workbook is there are alternatives, and I like the way it flows. It offers just different sounds of the language together in one continuous flow. Okay, so yeah, these are just two different options for introducing yourself by name. Okay. Let's do another pronunciation practice and then we'll go on. So again, the whole phrase, repeat after me. Wa sa itu wasak.
Wasa
Sa itu
Ah,
And then just the first part. Wa sa.
Wasa.
Yeah, this is the part that means how. It means tell me how. Yeah. Yeah, one more time. Wa sa.
Wasa.
Wasa.
Yeah.
Come here.
Oh, go ahead. Is there a question? No? Okay. Repeat this part after me. Itu wasak. Yeah, notice these first three vowels, are all short and low. So you'll probably notice that I'm saying that part a little bit faster. Itu wasak. So let's do this one again. Repeat after me. Itu wasak. Yeah, good.
Wasa.
itu wasaku.
Mhm. Okay, this part with the rounded K, let's practice it again. And again, you're just rounding your lips and breathing out the K, and it makes a very different sound from if you don't round your lips. So let's do this part. Sa.
Sa.
Good. And the first part of the word, dua.
Dua.
Yeah. Idua.
Dua.
Yeah.
Idua.
And iduwasak.
Idua.
Yeah, good. And one more time, the whole phrase. Wasa iduwasak. Okay. So, looking ahead, we're going to look into the textbook a little bit about the grammar of this in terms of making it a question. How are you called is a question. But looking at this phrase, is anyone able to identify which part of wasa ituwasak makes it a question?
The I'm gonna say it's
Or what?
Yeah. Did you say the first two?
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's what it is. These first two words, wasa. Everyone repeat after me. Wasa.
Wasa.
Yeah. This first word, wa, specifies that it's a how question. And then this particle, sa, it means say it, but it makes it into a question. Awesome.
I do wasaku.
Good. That was really good. Before we move on, are there any questions so far from our review? Okay. I'm going to show you a video before we get into the textbook. And did we start these in this class yet, watching the Alaska State Library's archive puppet shows?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
I didn't see it. I wasn't
Okay.
in the last class.
Oh yeah, that's right. You weren't here yet. So I included these transcription slides that must have been from our last one. So I'm gonna hit play and I'll open this up in another video. Oh, here it is.
How to stay alive in a
Okay, so while that ad is playing, I'll get our transcription ready. And I'll put this over here. I'm going to rearrange the screen so that we can read what we wrote down as the video is playing. Yeah. Okay, so do the skip the ad and hit pause. Okay. So first time I'll run it through just the video and then we'll look at our transcription actually. Yungay Wane, are you all ready? Okay. Okay. All right, here we go.
Wasa itu wasak.
Is that audio coming through? I just want to check first.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool.
There it is.
Wasa iyatee.
Dasa?
Wasa iyatee.
Wasa iyatee.
Susie ye khatuwasak. Wasa ye duwasak.
Jimmy yekhat wasak.
Wasa iyatee Jimmy.
Kash wasa Susie.
Oh Jimmy. Jimmy kayade shakishan.
Tisawa. Aho, wasa yekhat yatke. Jimmy yekhat wasak.
Khatku awa Susie ye khatuwasak. Wasa ye duwasak.
Wasa wasak.
Wasa ye yatee. Shad kaya khat.
Ka yekhat.
Oh Jimmy, stakat aya wushkun zi hatzite.
Wasa yekhat akhonche. Wasa yekhat.
Tleswasa, tleswasa, tleswasa.
Jimmy yekhat wasak.
Achet yisach at yatki. Susie ye khatuwasak.
Ka yekhat.
Khao aya khat.
Khatawa khak sose.
Khat kua awe. Ahu. Shat aya khat.
Wush hun ke hatziti.
Aya kwe at yatri. Tute ye yigaktisatin. Kaya de Uniski, Jimmy. Kaya de Shakishan.
Tsutsaye gaffisatin ahun ke.
Tuteye yigaktisatin ahunki.
Okay, now I remembered while we were watching it. Last week we watched it, and then someone made the comment that, oh yeah, they just got right into it, said, how are you? Yeah, how are you? And then got right into the dancing. I thought that was so funny.
Yep.
It's funny. Sounds pretty realistic.
Yeah, that's how we
Doing
like
a
to
happy dance after meeting someone.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we should all do a happy dance when we introduce ourselves to everyone.
There you go. Um, Before we get into the particular phrases, were there anything people want to comment about what they saw or heard? Skinyatla.
Yeah, a wagon, a cheese. Yeah,
Uh,
they spoke to Kunki
ah,
family, so I caught that a couple times.
awesome.
Gonna cheese.
Ah, kanakik eh.
I
Good.
just got a few words.
Uh-huh. Which ones?
Would what are you called? And he said, I am called so and so. And then she says, hello. And then that's when they start dancing.
Yeah, exactly.
It might be kind of weird, but I kind of feel like trying that next time. No, I meet someone. And now we dance. No.
Yeah. Okay, Kaya, I see you have your hand up too.
Hello, can you type out, are you ready?
Yeah,
Gonna
of course. Yeah, so I'll put it in this one as notes or questions. And let's do let's see. Da, da. So I'm gonna type them to begin with just from the best of my memory, and then I always tell people, since Tlingit is not my first language, I always spell check, and I just do it real time in front of you guys so that if you're doing the same thing, you know how to do it as well. So I can tell just looking at it that I'm not quite right here. Something looks wrong to me, but if I'm just typing it from memory, using my recall, this is how I type it. Now I'm going to look it up in the dictionary to spell check. So,
But us beginners would never know until
yeah, but that's why I have a responsibility to spell check in front of you guys so that I'm being accurate and I'm teaching you how to be accurate. So let's do.
which is good because when I take my notes, I don't want to write something that's wrong.
Exactly. So let me find it in here. I wonder if I can. I'm gonna try Are You Ready and just see if it's in here. Yeah. Okay, so we see it written here. I was close on the first part. Repeat after me these first two words. Yange. Yeah, and then this next word, repeat after me. Iwane. Yeah. So I'm gonna copy this.
So the iyatee, that's where the EW, is that what we're saying, or is it the G sharp E?
I'll put it on the slide and then we can break it down. That's a good question. And I'm gonna do a capital. Are you ready? And then if we want to break it down, let me see if it appears again in the dictionary. No. I'm going to do one more spell check in the for an alternative spelling in the database. So Tlingit verbs. And I'm going to look up the word to be ready.
Oh my God.
I know this. So what I'm taking you to now is a little more intermediate advanced resource. But if you're a very beginner, you can still use it. And what I recommend doing is, if you're brand new to this, look up your English words. So if I want to look up ready, I can find it here under the root word nay. And when we hear iwane, we hear that nay.
No
So
way.
that's our root word. I'm just scrolling down until I find ready. And I'm gonna click on the yellow bar and it'll give me options for examples. So I see they're ready, and I'm gonna use this one. Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we have a singular, they are ready, yen uwane. I'm gonna go with the example we saw because we don't want to say they're ready, we want to say are you ready? Which is what we saw here with the I sound.
You know, to be honest, seeing that's very overwhelming to me because there's so many different ways of saying things.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, like, because my goal is so that I can become fluent, but my goodness,
Yeah.
I think I'll be dead by the time I'm fluent.
Yeah, it's a long-term goal. And then you know what they say too, the more you learn, the more you know that you don't know. So it's like as you start to learn more, you start to learn more what's out there, and it is easy to get overwhelmed. But I'm in the same place when I look at it. I've been studying Tlingit for 7 years, and I same thing when I look at this. I look at it as like this is a good place to look things up. I don't know. I've never even thought of making a goal to memorize everything in here. I just take it one little bite size at a time.
But you're fluent though, right?
I'm a learner. I'm conversational with basic topics. How are you? How's your day? How's the weather? Where do you live?
So
What you're
you can
doing?
say, well, I'm going to the store because I have to buy this and this and this and this.
I could. But where I'm at in my fluency is I would make them each short, simple sentences one at a time.
That's
Yeah.
what I would be
Yeah.
doing that.
Okay. That's really good.
I mean,
So
I'm just impressed that I've retained what I've learned from the last class,
good.
that I am understanding some things. But
Good.
what's hard is, you know, when I tell my sisters and they go, well, how do you say this? And I'm just like, my mind goes complete blank.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's
like,
actually
I know it. And
yeah.
then I have to look it up. And I'm like, oh, how do I say this one again? And then I'm like, I just wing it and I'm like, I hope that sounds right.
Yeah, don't worry. What your sisters are asking you to do is awesome challenge, but just take it as a mental exercise because it's the hardest thing to do to go from English into Tlingit on the spot in your head or any language. The easiest thing to do is like repeat after me and make the sounds. The next easiest thing to do for me is memorize that phrase and use it when it's time. And then maybe if I have to write something there's layers of difficulty. So going from English to Tlingit is a challenge, but don't worry, you'll, just go a little bit
But
at
that's
it.
what I find so good is that we do the repetition on the phrases or on the words and that's what helps me because I'm more of a visual learner.
Oh, that's
I can mimic sounds quite easily,
good.
but it doesn't mean that I know what I'm understanding or what I'm saying, but I
Right.
try.
Yeah, exactly. Well, good. That's good to hear that you're a visual learner. I can't find an example right now of this plural, so I'll have to ask my mentor. But for the top one, are you ready for a singular person?
Anna,
Yeah.
just want to pass a message to Carrie that I just sent her a message with a link in there. It's in
Oh,
the chat
good.
Oh,
box. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Mm-hmm.
thank you. I'll take a look.
Okay. So the question was to type in, are you ready? And let's practice it. So this last word, everybody repeat after me. Iwane.
Iwane,
And then the whole thing starting with yan, repeat after me. Yange iwane.
Yeah.
iwane,
Yeah. And then a little more conversational sounding, repeat after me. Yange iwane.
Yeah.
iwane.
Good. That means, are you ready? Skeena, try your hands up.
Yeah, well, if you're around dance groups, you'll hear that a lot too.
Yeah.
Because we speak to that when we're getting ready to drum and sing. Goodness, geez.
That's awesome cultural note. Gunaftish. Kaya, your hands up.
Sorry, I didn't lower it from earlier.
Oh, okay. Tawufitzin, you're next.
Gunshish. I just wanted to briefly ask, since you're asking a question, can we go over like how to respond to that? Because
Yeah.
yeah,
Good
yeah.
question.
So I
Yeah.
always said yan khat uani. I am ready.
Oh,
Yadu
awesome.
khat. Yadu khat. I am here. I'm ready.
Okay. I'm gonna do this part again from the best of my sounding out what you're saying. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna look this one up before I type it so I don't get people on the wrong path. And then what was the second one you said?
Yadu khat.
Oh, yeah.
Yadu khat.
Okay. So if I want to say I'm ready, now I'm talking about me, not you. I'm instead of saying, are you ready? Now I'm saying I'm ready. So I'm gonna see if I can find it in our examples. Oh, this is them. So yeah, chat uwane. Is that how you were taught to wufitzin?
Yeah,
Okay.
way.
Okay. Like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, cool. And then another option might be just saying yes. Oops. Yeah. So I'm gonna make these all one color so people can see that they're all responses. So if we have a person A and a person B, person A would say, repeat after me, Yange wane. And then possible responses for person B. The first one might be, repeat after me, Yan khat wane.
Yan khatwane,
Next one they might just say, I'm here, and that would be Ya dukhat.
yadu khat,
And then the last one just saying yes, ah.
ah,
Yeah.
Like you're at
Good.
the doctors.
Huh?
Like you're at the doctors.
Yeah. Open wide. Okay, Evan, you have a hand up?
Is there a corresponding word for no?
Oh, good question. Let me add it.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to say no, you would say, repeat after me, Tlake.
Hi.
Like,
Yeah.
Can you repeat that again, please?
Yeah, for no is Tlake.
Lake.
okay.
Lake.
Yeah.
So, the T is pronounced like a K?
If you say it quickly, the TL can sound like a K, but it should be softer and more flowier. So it should sound like repeat after me. Yeah.
Lake.
Yeah. Cake.
Like,
Cake.
Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Lake.
Yeah.
Lake.
Yeah, that sounded good. Cake.
Lake. So the K is sharp at the end.
At the end, yes, that's exactly right. The K is sharp at the end. You see this apostrophe, and that makes
Sharp.
it, yeah, away. Makes it sharp.
Lake.
Uh-huh.
Lake.
And then the
I'm
question.
very excited by this.
What's that?
I said, I'm just very excited by all of this. I
Hmm.
can't contain myself. I
Oh,
just
good.
enjoy this so much.
Oh.
Tuwu atwudikin. My
Um,
spirits are soaring. I'm feeling very excited. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I can't repeat what you just said, but I
Well,
like what you said.
yeah, good
I
comment.
like what you said. I don't think I can repeat what you said that yet.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's a keyword. Tara, your hand is up.
Yeah, are there any high tone marks in
Uh, I I'm being taught that you would, if you're saying yes, that you would just say all low tone. When I started, when I started learning, people would say like the last one would be high tone. And the latest I'm being told is that it's all long and low. But this isn't written in stone. If you have a speaker that you're studying that's you really like, and they're doing a high tone at the end, and then that's the language. So don't take this as an authoritative yes or no. It has to be high tone or low tone from me.
with elementary students, it seems to be common that I'm hearing more than
Yeah. Yeah, let's see if it's in Tlingit Kainig.
That's who I'm working with.
Huh?
Really.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
but we're out of avocados now.
I need to see if it's in this phrase book, but I'll keep that in mind as we move forward. I'll be looking for
Oh, did you just pass it?
might be open. Did you see it?
I thought oh, no. Sorry.
Okay, so that's okay. So let's jump back into our lesson and get ready for another type of question. So we've been
I
asked.
still don't get where the workbook is. I've looked for it and I went to YouTube. I typed in Tlingit workbook. And
Perry, I added it in the
doesn't
chat
seem
for
to
you.
be-
I sent it to you in the chat. If you're
Okay.
able to check the chat, there's the link in there.
Okay. So, when this is recorded, the chats will be on there so that I can click on it.
No, I think you'd click on it now in the chat.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know.
And then you can save it, bookmark it, and that way you can have
okay.
access to it all the time. It is clinkitlanguage.com, and so yeah,
Hey,
the resources
I
are
just got a
abundant on that page. And so I
let
did
me
send you
just
the link though.
You did send me okay, so I click on the link.
Yeah.
It's in the chat, and I'll also send a follow-up email to you with some resources in it.
Okay, it's not opening. Oh, hang on. Begin. Okay. So there we go. And then I just bookmark it.
Yeah, so to bookmark it, if you click it,
Where do I gotta find out how to click it.
Top right hand corner, most likely.
Add to print, download, more actions, add to start file.
download would be an option if you want to hit download.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it'll be on your computer.
But to bookmark it, there's just a little star up there in your address bar, Carrie.
Yeah, right here.
Oh, okay. Oh, the star in the in the
Up
line.
here at the top, yeah, in this line here.
Okay, a star. Okay, bookmark added. Thank you so much for helping me with that.
You're welcome.
Because I've been trying. Oh, now I lost you guys. Oh,
We're still here.
I see, but I don't see the class. How do I get back to you guys?
You probably just, are you on your phone or iPad?
I'm on my laptop. I get to hit Zoom. Oh, there we go. Oh, well, hang on. There we go. I'm back. Sorry.
Okay, cool.
Yay.
Okay, so we looked at this video and we heard some questions.
Yeah.
The first one was, how are you called? And then another question we heard them asking each other a lot was just, how are you? So everyone go ahead and repeat after me. Wasa iyatee.
Wasa iyatee.
Yeah, and then the puppets, Jimmy and Susie, turned to look at us and they asked us, all of us, repeat after me, Wasa iyatee. Yeah, so this first one is how are you if you're talking to one person. So when Jimmy and Susie were looking at each other and talking, they're asking, Wasa iyatee, Wasa iyatee. And then when they turned to us and saw a crowd, they asked,
How are we?
Yeah, how are you all is how they asked it.
Okay.
Yeah, so put how are you all. And just looking at a small comparison, when we look at the two questions, so the first one, repeat after me. Wasa iduasa. Yeah, and then that means how are you called? For how are you, repeat after me. Wasa iyatee. Yeah, so what stays the same in these two questions?
The wasa.
Yeah, the wasa. And if I put a breakdown of what each part of the sentence means beneath it, then I colored them purple, and for wasa, I put how. Okay, because this is our how question. And we see that in both phrases. They're both how questions. The first one's how are you called, meaning what's your name. Next one is just how are you. So one more time, repeat this second one after me. Wasa iyatee. Yeah. Now, the actor who plays Jimmy is Johnny Marks, who was Shukach Adi. And he recorded all of these phrases on this resource, this phrase book, and it's called Tlingit Ach Ach. But if we go up to track 25, we see all these different ways of asking how you are, and I want you to be able to hear his voice and his fluent pronunciation on how they sound. So I'm going to hit play and I'll come back to this screen and let's just go ahead and listen. And then if we have time, we'll start working on responses, but won't go too far. Yeah, Carrie?
When you ask how you are, like, or how are you?
Yeah.
What is the response? Did I miss that? Do
you
say fine?
Yeah, we'll look at options. We'll look at different options.
Okay, so I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, first we'll just do questions and then we'll start to get to answers.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna hit play.
How are you?
iyatee. iyatee.
How are you with a physical emphasis?
iyatee.
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 How are you emotional emphasis?
iyatee.
ituatee.
iyatee.
ituatee.
How are you feeling?
Wasashtidinuk.
Sashti.
Wasashtidinuk.
Sashti.
Good. So any questions about these before we practice them?
How
Okay.
come there's two emphasis on how are you?
Yeah. So the most general and good question. So the most general one where it's just open-ended question would be this top one. Repeat after me, everybody. Wa sa'iyati.
iyatee.
And if the context was about how somebody is physically, maybe you're maybe they just ran a race and you want to ask how they're feeling, you want to ask about their body, how they're physically feeling. You would say this one, you add a little S sound. So repeat this after me. Wa sasiyati.
Iyatee.
Yeah.
So is
If
that one that you would ask if they were if someone was sick as well?
uh
Had a cold or something, they'd say, "How are you?" And you go, "Wa sas iyati."
yeah, that seems appropriate to me.
Okay.
Yeah, because if they're sick, you want to know how are you feeling. And then emotional emphasis, repeat after me. Wa saituati.
Ituatee.
And I heard someone practicing, this was really good. In the recording, Johnny says this pretty quickly. And so the way I am teaching you for our pronunciation practice, repeat after me. Sa e. Yeah, I'm making it very separate. Um, Johnny is a fluent speaker. Tlingit was his first language. When he says it, you'll notice there's a little bit less of a gap between the sa and the e. So he says it more like, repeat after me, wasai tuati.
Ituatee.
Yeah, and I heard a few of you practicing that sai. You're making a little more conversational flowy. Yeah, yeah. So that's why I like to play these recordings because we can kind of close that gap between the textbook beginner Tlingit that I teach you and how our master speakers talk conversationally. And then the last one, how are you feeling? Repeat. I think this one seems right for if someone is sick and you want to know how they're doing. Repeat after me. Wasashti dinuk. Yeah.
Wasashitidinok.
Yeah. So we're going to be getting into responses for these. We have some initial, just not bad, I'm fine, or I'm not good in general. As we progress through the weeks, I want to give you more options and we'll be, handpicking some of these more specific responses. I'm happy, I'm sleepy. This is the one Tuwutlitzin mentioned, and let's just practice it since it's right here in front of us. My spirits are soaring, like Carrie was saying earlier. I'm excited. I can't contain myself. And that's such a contagious feeling. So let's just talk about it. The whole phrase, I'll break it down for you, but starting with the whole phrase, just let's do our best right here. Repeat this after me. أختو أتودقين. Yeah. And this last sound starts with an underlined K. And so it's kind of more in the back of your mouth and say just the sound clean.
King.
and then wudiqin. Yeah, and then starting with ut, repeat after me. Ut wudiqin. Yeah, that's how you say it's soaring around or it's flying. For my spirits or my inside, my feelings is this first two words. Repeat after me. Achtu. One more time. Achtu. And the whole phrase, yeah, and the whole phrase. Achtu at wudiqin. Good. Did I catch up with everybody in the chat? I know it's H10, you've been helping me with that. Did I miss anything? Okay. I'm going to, okay, let's see. So I mentioned at the beginning of class that I was going to share class recording. And Thomasina, if I email you the links, could you send them to everybody for this week and last week?
Yes.
Okay. We'll do that until we get them up on YouTube and have a regular platform, just so people could catch up. And the last thing I wanted to mention is, oh, Thomasina, did you have an announcement or anything?
No, just yeah, we can totally get those up for everybody.
Okay, cool. The last thing I wanted to mention was our pre-class survey. It's a very similar survey to the one I sent for our last term at the beginning, and we agreed that we like it. We're going to send it to you guys. So Thomasina was nice enough to send it to everybody. If you all can take the time to fill it out, that would be awesome.
I just did it.
Yay, awesome, Gunash. And here it is. If anyone doesn't have it, I'll just put the link in the chat again so that you have access. And this just helps me stay in touch with your each of your goals and help me plan my lessons to make sure I'm helping you progress in the language the way you want to be. Other than that, I think that's all I had for today. Were there any comments or questions before we go?
No, I'm
I
just
just
very
wanted
excited
to.
be back again.
Good.
So good. And Carrie, I was just going to ask if you could, if you wouldn't mind staying on with us, and then I can get your phone number and we can start some correspondence with some more resources.
Okay.
Okay, great.
I have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
So plural, are you ready? Would that be young gay yi wane?
Yeah. The only reason I took it off our example was that I need to check if it's ye is spelled as its own word or if it's connected.
Okay, I missed that. Sorry. Wanted
No,
to
you're
follow up. Thank you.
yeah, you're good. But you are right that to make it plural instead of I or instead of e, you would say ye with a y.
I did have one quick question, if I could.
Of course.
I've heard you say ik a couple of times, and I'm trying to figure out what exactly that means in conversation.
Oh, yeah. So what I'm saying is this word, and I'm just going to delete it. This one here, and I'll say it is. So it means it is good, and it sounds like this. Repeat it after me. Yake.
Okay.
Good, yeah. It just means it is good. So when I like what I'm hearing, then sometimes you'll hear me saying that. Yake. Yeah. Okay, that's all our time for today. You guys have a good rest of your day, and we will catch up with you next week. Same time, same link. Yakwati.
Nilatoga, can I ask you just to